The city of Denver has made major strides in water conservation over the last few years.
We've been able to save over 2.5 billion gallons of water for Denver Parks and Recreation. Billion with a B. Yes, not million, but billion. We use water in a lot of different ways within Denver Parks and Recreation for our recreation centers, pools, fountains, but we use 96% of our overall water use for irrigation. So a lot of our focus in our water conservation division is on irrigation practices.
Among the water-saving strategies used by Denver Parks and Recreation is upgrading old irrigation methods to a much more efficient central controlled irrigation system.
When we manage our water systems more accurately, so when it rains and we are able to centrally control and shut off all of our irrigation systems, for every inch per acre that we save across all of our 3,000 irrigated acres, we save $150,000. With central control, the conversion to central control irrigation units, we anticipate at least a 15% overall water savings, and that's on the conservative side. Typically, we can see up to 20 or 30% water savings.
Another conservation strategy is using more water-efficient native grasses and plant material.
As we build new parks within Denver Parks and Recreation, we're also looking to make sure we have diverse landscapes, and when we are able to turn our sort of passive areas over to low water landscapes, that can easily save us 60 to 70% of what we would normally irrigate turf at. Central Park for Denver Parks and Recreation is considered one of our regional parks. It was built around 2008, and it's a really good example of how we're trying to blend the different landscape types within one park. The park is 80 acres in size, about 65 of it is irrigated, and only about 20 of those irrigated acres are actually bluegrass. The rest are native grasses, shrubs, low water trees. We have a xeriscape garden here. Some of the other things we're doing for water conservation is to work with Denver Water to convert our parks from potable water to recycled water. Since 2004, when we began making the switch, we've converted 30% of our park irrigated acreage over to recycled water.
In drought years or in normal years, Denver strives for a balance between weather conditions, water conservation, and maintaining plant health.
During drought years, Parks works closely with Denver Water. When we're in stage 1 drought, our water use consumption should be 10% less than what our normal consumption is. In a stage 2 drought, we're required to reduce our water consumption by 20% to 35%. In regular years, our priorities are to keep our parks looking as good as we can and still maintain our water budgets. In drought years, we have a focus on long-lived plant materials such as trees and plant materials that would be difficult to replace, that take a long time to grow. Another focus that we have is on athletic fields and those areas that are highly used by children and the public, so that the parks can still be utilized during a time of drought.
With these and many other water conservation methods, Denver Parks and Recreation is committed to saving water while maintaining our beautiful city parklands for now and into the future.
Our newest parks built out at Stapleton, Lowry, our parks out in Green Valley Ranch and Parkfield, all use the same techniques of trying to use only turf in the high activity use areas. I think the public's been very responsive to us changing the look of our plant palettes. I think in part because they recognize water as a precious resource within Colorado.